In Jesus' last words to his disciples, he didn't just predict his own death, he predicted theirs too. He told them that they should expect trouble in this world. Not just the regular trouble that comes from living in our chaotic, mixed-up world, but extra trouble that you get just for following Jesus. Now, he promised to give them his peace. Their job was to have courage. And that's exactly what happened. Just a few weeks later, the disciples were pulled up in front of the highest court of the land and threatened with death. But they showed tremendous courage because Jesus had risen from the dead and they'd seen it with their own eyes. But there's a really interesting insight that the Bible records. During the trial, a respected senior Pharisee called Gamaliel comes up with this incredible wisdom. He said, "There's no need to kill these believers. If what they say and believe is just man-made, there's no way it can succeed." Ancient history is full of stories of would-be messiahs rising up, gaining popularity, gaining followers, making a stir. But it always ends the same way. They get themselves killed, the followers run out of steam, the whole thing goes away. But then Gamaliel says this: if this thing is actually true, if it's actually from God, if he has supernaturally raised Jesus from the dead, then nothing you do will be able to stop it. If the church experiences unstoppable growth, that's the most compelling evidence in the world that the whole thing has to be true, even if you don't want to believe it. Now, in the full message, I talk about how that worked out in history. It's really worth a watch if you missed it. We look at the early church and its rise, how within just 30 years, historians like Tacitus record vast numbers of Christians living in Rome, 3,000 miles away. We look at how the church makes it through into the 2nd century and spreads all over the world. These Christians were tortured, ostracized, imprisoned, and killed. But no matter what people did to them, no matter what odds they faced, the thing was simply unstoppable. Regular believers experienced tremendous trouble, but somehow they found courage to handle it because they believed, they knew that Jesus had risen from the dead. He'd overcome the world, and they experienced his supernatural peace in the midst of unbelievable suffering. So that's our encouragement. Our faith is based not on our feelings or our experiences or even our beliefs. It's based on historical fact. And no matter what trouble we face in this world, we too can have a peace that passes understanding, and we can be courageous. Why? Because Jesus is truly risen from the dead. He has overcome the world.